Podcast.
Hello and welcome to PMC English. I'm Idris and with me is
Ayushi, and welcome back to our series of podcast.
with our one and only guest, Mr. Vedvyas. And today our topic is something very important. It defines the relationship between our families and us. So very warm welcome to our show, sir.
Thank you.
So the first question is about what is a good relation in a family?
What is a good relation? What do you think it is?
I'm asking you.
Yeah, but what is your opinion about good relationship?
Good relationship means like there's like harmony, understanding, and acceptance. That's all. Honesty, of course. All this comes in that. So, what's your opinion?
Where are your facing challenges in these things?
I'm not facing any challenge because
So
I
you-
stay alone.
You are staying alone, but when you go back to your family, or you do spend time with your family, right?
Yes, of course.
So when you spend time with family, where do you feel these things are missing?
No, this is not missing. Actually, when I meet them after a long time, it's very warm. Actually.
Oh, good.
So these things are there.
So these are all there.
Right.
So you have a good relationship.
Yes.
That's a good relationship.
Okay, everything is in peace. So of course, we are not fighting with each other. So of course, yeah, right.
Even fighting with each other is a good
Fighting
relation.
I mean, there are no conflicts. I would say.
Why is that a problem? So conflicts are very healthy in a relationship. In fact, not having conflicts is harmful to relationships.
Right.
But it's not good actually to have too many of conflicts. Balance is
It's
okay.
not about number of conflicts, the intensity of conflicts that
Yeah,
matters.
that's what I mean.
It's about how fleeting the conflicts are and how interesting the conflicts are that makes up a good relationship. If you don't have conflicts, it means that you don't have a relationship. That relationship doesn't really matter to you.
I understand it has to be in a balance, but
Yeah.
of course it shouldn't be over.
Oh,
Yeah, that's there.
good. So simply you have defined what is good relationship, and that's a good definition. Because it's good relationship is different for different people. So your idea of good relationship, Ayushi's idea of good relationship, and my idea of good relationship are quite different. But it's fine. As long as we are happy, we are happy. There is no standard that good relationship has to be like
Now,
this.
of course, I understand different people have different perspective, but in general, there's a term wherein we can say peace, harmony, affection, understanding, and of course, she said like,
Good conflicts.
yeah, of course, some good conflicts wherein we criticize each other for a good cause. I would
Healthy
say.
fights.
Healthy fights.
Healthy
yes.
fights.
That's fine.
Yeah.
So this is like some general. I wanted to know if there's something else, something you want to add to this.
That's all. I think that's perfectly
That's
okay.
pretty much it. Okay.
Okay.
Now the next thing is what makes it, I mean, bitter in relations? What makes bitter relations?
Did it make anything bitter?
No, I just,
No,
I've
what
seen
is
a
your
lot of people like they keep fighting, like mom and daughter, son and dad, son and mother. They will be fighting on certain issues, certain things. Why does it happen?
So maybe that is because of the generation gap they have, because our parents, they belong to a different generation, and now we are in a different generation where there is a lot of technology, and every day rapidly we are changing. So those kind of thought process at times they do not match, and when we see that they are right from their perspective and we are right from our perspective, so that clash of thoughts, maybe that causes the bitterness in the family.
Possibly. What do you think?
There could be n number of reasons.
Yes.
Yes. So maybe certain things they don't, some people
But
have
again, the
certain
question I ask is, why does it matter to you?
things. Yeah, it matters. We are humans, of course.
Not necessarily.
Why would I see someone fighting and throwing utensils on each other?
So,
Why
Why
would
does
I-
it matter
Why would
to
I
you?
enjoy it?
why would you reject it?
Of course I will. It can harm each other. It can be harmful. They could kill each other.
So, how does it matter to you?
Of course it matters. I'm a human being. I have to.
No, what is your
Feelings,
emotion?
maybe.
Feelings, human connection, of course. If I
What
see
human connection is not a feeling, it's a connection. But what is the emotion that's coming out of it?
emotion is love, affection, compassion, of course.
If you have love, affection, and compassion, then anything that happens is awesome.
Not exactly. I don't agree with you.
If it is not awesome, then
If somebody is with a gun and killing others, how is it awesome?
then what is the emotion there?
Emotion is that I need to save the person. If somebody is
So
doing
if
wrong,
you are not able to save the person, what is the emotion?
I might be helpless, but at least I have that intention,
good.
right?
Helplessness is the emotion. First time you have used a word that represents.
Yeah, of course, if someone is with a gun, I'm helpless, but at least I'll try to make him understand by words, by one word, 2 words, 3 words, or try to make him understand, try to stop him.
You wish. The question is, you wish. See, in relationships, anywhere, a healthy relationship has healthy boundaries. In your case, when it comes to certain things, those are missing. Why am I saying this? Because what is boundary defined by is our sphere of influence. Okay? So when we are aware that I can influence this, then I'll only work on that much. Because that is what universe has given me as my responsibility to deal with. There are many things happening in the world that are beyond me. Okay? In Middle East there is a war. Is it within my purview?
No, of course it's not.
It's not.
We don't have that much power. We don't have that much influence.
It's not about we cannot or right. But the point is, within my sphere of influence, does it exist or not? So if I am Prime Minister and there is a war in Middle East, probably some part of it would be within my purview. But I'm not. What is my role? If someone has a conflict, they are playing out their life drama and their karma. And that's going on perfectly. If I am seeing it as something wrong is happening, then I have to see it as a mirror. If this is wrong, what is wrong with me? What is it reflecting inside me? And then I can deal with it. Then I can get to the point where there is a boundary. Okay, things beyond my boundary are what they are. I have to accept them as they are. Right? And things within my boundary, I should have enough strength to deal with it. So if you need to deal with something, then you should have enough strength to deal with. If you don't have enough strength to deal, you have to have courage to accept them as good.
I think that is ignorance. That's ignorance.
What is ignorance?
Accepting the way they are. Not even trying, not even having an intention
That's
to
the problem.
fix the problem.
That's the word. You have to check what is the problem within you that you are not able to fix, that is driving you to fix others.
No, it's
That's a
just-
mirror.
See, I understand
Apply
your point.
that.
My
and
point is, two people are fighting with each other.
Reflect.
So you mean to say I have to turn blind eye and just...
No, I'm saying the question is, why is it bothering you? What about it, of that conflict, is affecting you so
Okay,
much?
let me ask, why should it not bother me?
No, I'm asking you, check that first. Once you are able to see, then you will know where it is coming from. Your justification or not justification is not the issue.
I understand, just that's not the thing.
whole thing is,
My
where
point
is this really coming from? Are you willing to go there?
Two people are fighting, and the fight is so intense now, there's a possibility they might kill each other. It's a very real incident I'm talking about, a mother and daughter, wherein like the situation was either the daughter will commit suicide, or mother will do something, or maybe they will hit each other and do something. So on that point, I cannot turn blind eye like I'm
Now
not
the question is
being a
it
human
within
being.
your sphere of influence or not?
It could be, at least I will have intention,
It's
I'll
not
try.
about could be.
Without trying, how can I know?
No, the question is, are you present at that time? And will they listen to you?
If
Do you
they
have
don't,
any role?
What if I interfere and ask?
No,
stop them?
they might both hit you.
Let them hit, it's okay. It's for a cause.
they
good
might kill
cause.
you. That's
Good
also a
cause.
possibility.
That's for a good cause.
So it's not about good cause, man. You have to identify that the way you are creating this situation, we know that you are passionate about it. Now the question is, are you ready to examine it and get to the bottom of it? Or do you want us to justify that you are right? What is this?
There's nothing right, nothing wrong. But the thing is, if they are fighting, it is harmful. There's a consequence. That one person might die due to this. And if I don't interfere at the right time, and I will regret forever
so
that
do you
I didn't
want-
even try.
So is this a point where you want me to say, yes, you are right?
No, I'm not saying right or wrong. But I don't agree with your point that we should completely, ignore it.
No, I'm
if
not
we are
saying ignore, I'm saying examine. You have to choose which are in your sphere of influence. and then you have to have strength to address it. Or you have to.
How will I know I have the strength or not without trying?
No, that's what you have to examine, right? Without even looking at yourself, how will you know? You are only looking at the conflict, you are not even looking at yourself.
Yeah, of course. If
You are part of that conflict, do you know that?
I might be, of course.
You are.
I'm not ignoring that. If I am, see, if
So the moment your emotions got entangled with that conflict, you are feeling strongly about it, you are part of that conflict. So there are three parts of the conflict. Every conflict has three parts. One, perpetrator. Do you know what is perpetrator?
yeah, the creator of this conflict.
No, someone who is dominating the conflict, who has created the conflict.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Perpetrator. Then there is a victim. And the third person, do you know who is in the conflict? The rescuer. This is the conflict triangle. Perpetrator, victim, and rescuer. Three people are guilty of the conflict. Not one. Perpetrator is able to do that because there is a victim and a rescuer in this equation.
So how can we blame rescuer?
Huh?
Rescuer will come in the picture when the conflict has been created.
These are the three roles people take up in a conflict.
No, roles are fine, but we cannot blame directly to rescuer.
That is there. You have to accept that. Then I'll explain.
the
I'll get to
cycle
that.
is there, of course, I
Cycle is
understand,
there.
but we cannot
What
blame the
happens
rescuer.
is people keep rotating among these three roles. The perpetrator will suddenly become a victim.
Yeah, that might be a different
And
situation. Yeah.
perpetrator will suddenly become a rescuer also.
Right. It depends on the situation.
Right? A rescuer will suddenly become a perpetrator. And rescuer can also become a victim. And victim can become a rescuer or perpetrator. Within the same conflict, these roles are, when there's argument going on, these dynamics are happening there. Can you see that? The drama that's happening, if you are objective enough, you will be able to see these three roles being played by two or more people. Sometimes, if you are fighting with yourself, you will be able to even see it within yourself, these three roles. If you are helpless, you are victim. If you feel like angry and dominating, you are a perpetrator. If you feel like you need to do something about it to remove that conflict, this is too much, then you have become a rescuer. But these three are not different roles. It's all about the same thing. So, usually it is seen that parents who beat their children and parents who don't beat their children. What is the difference? Difference is that parents who were beaten in the childhood as children beat their children. Parents who have not been beaten as kids, they don't need to beat their children.
But maybe at times it is understanding that they understand their children well.
It can be like
Usually.
if my parents were beaten, what pain they have gone through, they don't want to pass it on.
No,
That could be a
they feel
possibility.
that that's what we would expect. But the reality is, beating children is okay, is what has been programmed into their psyche.
That is one aspect.
So
But
they have awareness of a process in which they can control children. So my parents have controlled this way, this must be an effective way. And they use the technique. And the parents who as children were never beaten, they have been exposed to different techniques. So to deal with children, these are the different techniques to be used. So these are the right ways to do it. And they'll do that. So a victim, a rescuer and perpetrator, all three roles are not different. They are saying that this is okay, whatever is going on.
But how can we generalize this?
No, that is psychology. If you read psychology enough, you'll understand that this is a
No,
subtle.
see, my point
This
is the
the
lady.
whole point, again I'll tell you. When you feel that rescuing is a great thing, see the perpetrator attitude is, I need to rescue. And rescuing is very important because that will make me feel better. Because my self-worth is directly related to how much I am able to rescue.
See, that's a hypothetical
No,
situation.
no, that is that's not
I'll give you
hypothetical.
my live example.
That's not hypothetical, that is proven.
So that could be a possible, but in this case, there was a lady.
No,
I don't know her.
situation is okay, fine. This is situation independent I am speaking about. It is a rescuer role I am speaking about. It is not about individual situations. This is universal. This triangle is universal.
Triangle, I understood.
And
There could be
each
three people,
each
but-
role has a self-worth issue. Like A perpetrator is a control freak in that moment. They have to have the control, otherwise they are worthless. Their self-worth is connected to having control. So they perpetrate a conflict to show that they are dominating. A rescuer has self-worth issue related to rescue. If they can't help others, then they are worthless.
No, it's not like that. I
Yes.
really don't see it that way.
That is the only reason a rescue tendency happens very strong, and the result of this is universe keeps on giving rescuers people to rescue. The moment you have rescuer personality, the people who you are surrounded with will always need rescue. They will never become independent and grow as an individual.
See, sometimes I completely understand your point, but sometimes the interference is required.
It's not
when
about
when it goes the
again-
way you
again-
in last
again,
episode
let
we
me tell.
discussed about scales.
There is healthy
Right.
rescuing
Healthy
also.
is okay, I understand, but
But the intensity with which you are showing it, you are making it, it is crossing somewhere between 8 to 9.
that's okay. But I understand.
I'm-
See, the
that-
situation. If the
it's-
situation
that's-
is
that's
grim,
why
if
I'm
the
telling
scale
you.
is at 10, I have to be 10. Of course, I have to put that much
No,
effort.
no, it's not about one-time thing.
No, I'm just saying this example. This is a live example. That's the reason I'm saying. There was a lady and her daughter.
Yes.
So I really didn't know
No,
that.
usually what happens is, if a person who is balanced, who is not in rescuer mentality, comes into that situation, he diffuses it very easily.
But if his intensity is also high,
High.
then it might make the situation worse.
No, it will actually make the situation worse.
No, it-
Because
See, the thing
rescuing,
is, see, you didn't listen to the
rescuing
complete
is
story.
again directly linked to self-worth. So if rescuing is very easy, it won't get that kick.
What if I tell you, see, they don't know me, they don't even know my face yet.
I'm speaking about a pattern. It's not about one situation. You are making about one situation and avoiding the pattern and the intensities associated with it.
So definitely, that's what I said. Case to case, it differs.
It differs. But you are so bothered about it is because your intensity is high. Otherwise, you would have simply said it's okay. So that
No, it was
one
not
particular
okay.
case.
I still won't say that it was okay or it can be okay. In certain
Not
cases, it
how
might be
intensity-
okay. But the intensity, when the situation
that's
is grim,
exactly,
when the
exactly.
situation is serious, we have to say it's not okay.
So when you
And
say something
and
is
it's
not
okay to say not okay.
good, when you say not okay so intensely, it makes things worse.
No, it solved the problem actually.
It depends. If we
Because the intensity which was there and it was much required, the way I interfered and the way I handled it.
So
And-
that is, if the situation requires you to be strong and you are being just strong enough, it will diffuse very fast. Okay? If the situation doesn't require strong, or if it doesn't require sensitivity that you are showing, then it will make things worse.
Yeah, that's of course.
So,
it depends on what is required.
That's why I'm explaining. People need to understand difference between the right thing to do and getting into these patterns. Okay? Perpetrator, victim and rescuer, these three are same. They are all related to self-worth. If our self-worth is strongly associated, then we'll show strong need to do certain things so that our self-worth is fulfilled. We are looking at, we don't feel that we are worthy, so we want to have these roles. And these are very common in a family drama situation. People get into these roles and act out whole life. And sometimes there is a need, like one parent will become perpetrator to control the situation, child will become, or a wife will become victim, or a spouse will become victim, and a kid or another spouse will become a rescuer, and they'll be playing this drama all their life. Okay?
Right.
So because we are speaking about the family situations, these are the dramas that happen all the time. But if we are not getting into these roles, it's very easy to resolve things. Then we'll be able to exactly see how much firmness is required, how much strength is required, how much sensitivity or empathy is required, compassion is required, and use them in the right way to dissolve the situation. Or sometimes we'll wait If both of them are meaningless, we'll wait till situation is right to interfere also. There is a right time to interfere as well. So these you can know when you are not in one of these roles. But if your self-worth is connected to any of these roles or multiple roles, then you will keep on playing the drama. Instead of solving it, you will make it keep on dragging it. So in drama, like you said, the parents are different personality and we are different personality. This has been true for every generation. More so now than before, of course. Because the kind of exposure, the kind of access to information right now we have and the parents had is quite different. So they will have different opinions and different values to live with, and we are in a different world. We have to adapt to our own world. But the point is that still these psychological dramas are being played. They are same. They are played in a different context, that's all. Now we have to check that what is exactly happening here in the family drama. Who are we accusing of being perpetrator and who is acting like a victim? Are we feeling helpless about situation, then we are acting like a victim. If we are feeling that something is wrong, I need to correct, I am acting as a rescuer. And if I want control and things are not right, I want to control things, this should be this way, not this way, then we are being a perpetrator. So check what role are we playing and why are we playing that role. The moment we shift that, saying that I don't need to rescue myself, I am good enough by myself, I want to disconnect myself with this rescue business. Because the more we have to rescue, more better we will feel, so we are addicted to rescuing. And that is how in family situations, what is called codependency forms. Have you heard the word codependency?
Depending on each other.
Yes. So one of the family member needs control, other family member needs to be a victim. If they are victim, that is a drama there, that they will feel better. Now if such people are part of the same family, what will happen?
This drama will continue.
They'll perpetrate it, they'll make it more intense. They cannot live without each other because they are dependent on each other. That is the best drama they can have. And they'll keep on suffering those things. And they will try to make it more intense. Control has to become better and better over time. And victim has to become better victim over time. Because same type of victim will get boring. So it can be quite damaging and lead to such kind of conflicts that you are speaking about, where they'll really come to blows. It happens.
So at that time we need to interfere.
You can interfere one time, but that is a family drama.
No, but that was solved after that.
Not necessarily. If that was solved forever, then that's congratulations, it's one-off thing. But if it is a family drama that's happening as a codependency, then one-time interference won't solve it. Their personality has to be shifted from, their self-worth has to be about themselves. I am good, I am worthy because I recognize my worth, not because of what I do. It's because of who I am, what I am being. When that shift happens, then this drama is no more needed. So creating that shift will solve the problem. Otherwise, the drama keeps continuing. One time we can solve, second time we can solve, third time we'll become a rescuer. We'll become part of their drama.
Wonderful. Wonderfully explained, and I think that's pretty much about the relationships at home or families. That was really wonderfully explained, and it was a very powerful debate today.
Yes,
Thank you so
indeed.
much for joining us. It was a pleasure having you on board one more time. Thank you so much, viewers, for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And one more thing, do not forget to like, subscribe and share this video.
And also do not forget to visit our website www.pmcenglish.com. So stay tuned to PMC English for more updates.
Thank you so much.